Feeling out of place is normal. Feeling like you don't belong is completely natural. When you as a person have changed like night and day, and you go back to somewhere that was once familiar, that you've had certain routines, that you once had a certain large chunk in your life, and you go back and you're not that same person again, it's weird. But that doesn't mean that you don't belong. It means that you just fit differently. And trying to figure out that piece is hard because you are just this ever-evolving person, and yet this place that you once knew and were familiar with doesn't feel like home. It feels like another place that you are just visiting. And it's a hard feeling to experience because it feels like you're not really at home anywhere. Rather, you're just a continual traveler. And just experiencing that nomadic feeling is something that can be sometimes so unfamiliar, so different, so new. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that is kind of the beauty of living in so many different places, is that you can find people who feel like home. You can find places that feel like familiar and a home. And then other times it's just a place that you're passing by, and that, depending upon how you look at it, you're just a resident of this earth. You're just a resident to this body that you have. You are simply just a resident who is trying to experience life to the fullest. And when you come finally down from traveling, it's hard because you change so much when you're traveling. And then to finally say that you are home, or to say that you are finally in a resting stage, is weird because it's so not normal. It's not the usual. And one aspect to be completely aware of is that feeling of trying to continually elevate yourself, trying to continually improve yourself, because you are no longer feeling that feeling. You are no longer feeling that stress. And there's a stress and there's a certain type of energy that comes into you and in your environment. Whether it's you being super stressed or super happy or super this or that, or an extreme emotion that you're experiencing. And then all of a sudden you no longer feel that emotion, you will start to pull and you will start to create emotions, thoughts, feelings, ideas that make you recreate those emotions that you once felt that were so normal. I've been reading this book by Joe Dispenza. It's like how common people are doing the uncommon. And I'm like in this section that is talking about how your body chemically reacts to your environment, and that it sets like a homeostasis at a certain like level. And when you have a certain stress level and then all of a sudden you go from night to day and not having stress, your body will create that stress because it is addicted to it. And I say it addicted to it, it is the normal setting for the body. And the body's like, whoa, where did all my cortisone go? I need that to function, because that's what your body is used to running on. And so it will drag and try to create so many things that stress you out to rebalance you out. But in reality, you don't need that. You're safe in your new environment, for example. Or that when your body is continually in the ever-changing, ever-evolving, ever-independent, because you are relying on yourself, and then all of a sudden you are no longer in a fight or flight mode, a trying to create something mode, your body will create so many issues within that. And you will try to create changes in your own life to recreate those evolutions in the way that you live, because that's what you're used to. And it'll take a while to get used to your new environment, your new surroundings, the people that you're living with, all these other new things. Because deep down, we are all very ritualistic, habitual humans, because it's safe, it's known, and it's secure. However, life is not like that. Life is not black and white. And it genuinely and truly comes down to the fact that you have to be aware of yourself enough to know and understand how your mind is working and why you are reacting in that way. Because sometimes when we see a change, we see it as very scary because it is very unknown and we don't know how to react to that. But then other times we fully embrace it and we jump in and we dive in head first and we're just like, let's go. Full gas, pedal to the metal, let's go. Sorry, there's a hair. And I'm definitely at this stage right now of change, of pedal to the metal, let's go. And being at home, it was strange not to experience that change of routine, of things going on, the unknown, and just getting used to that constant change of, oh my goodness. And so I was trying to find different things that I can change and have different people come in and out and try to experience different things because that change was no longer around me. But I'm realizing that that mental change and that mental headspace, if you want to call it, is going to pass because I'm experiencing a lot of change right now. And so my mind is trying to compensate for change in a different way because I'm looking and pulling, trying to find ways that I can change every single place because that is my chemical normalcy. And it's hard, but it's new and it's exciting. And you can just go with it. Go with the flow. Try to do something new every day. Try to have something different in your life because you never know what's right around the corner. You never know that change might be the thing that changes your life in a good way, for the better. But sometimes you need parts in your life to slow down and to try to find a small routine, to know that you can belong somewhere that's different and that you can find your home in a different way every place you go. Because depending upon the type of person you are, you might have many homes. You might be home to many people. And you might have many people that feel like home. I saw this one TikTok again, another TikTok. And it was like, I've had the gift of having so many homes around the world. But deep down, wait, no. It was something like, I will never feel at home because home is in so many parts of the country or of the world. And I thought that was so beautiful. When you can have so many friends and beautiful, great relationships that their origin is not of your same country. Because you can value their perspective. And you know that you can belong with them whenever. And you know you can be yourself fully and truly and honestly and authentically with that person or in that place. And trying to figure that out is hard. Trying to feel like you belong somewhere is something that's one of the most important things to being a human, because we as humans want to have a community. And that's so funny. Oh my gosh, that brings up. So I was literally at Barnes & Noble the other day, and I was like reading the first chapter of Outliers. It was like some like, I don't know, it was called Outliers. I'm not going to do it justice, but it was talking about how these Italian immigrants from Roseto, I'm going to butcher that Italian city. I'm so sorry. But I think it's like Roseto. I don't know the accents, word to accent on Italian words. Maybe one day. Yes, one day. And it's like Rosetto. And so long story short, they come to America and they go up to Philadelphia and they settle and they're like, what should we name this town? And I think they called it like Rosetina. Oh, I'm gonna butcher that, I'm so sorry. It was like Rosetina. And I'm so sorry if that's so wrong, but like, I'm sorry for my pronunciation, I really am. And their health was one of the most craziest things. And I only read the first chapter of it, so I don't know everything. I should say, and like emphasize. And so in that part of Philadelphia, a lot of people were dying of heart failure, had bad just health in general, and like men over the age of like 55 or 65 had that and died from heart attacks and like heart failure and heart issues. And the people that were in Rosetina, okay, please just pardon that, I'm so sorry. And so they did a study and they're like, maybe it's like this gene or characteristic. And they did like a genealogy line, genealogy, and they went back to Italy and they found different people who were around the same area. No difference, literally just that people from Roseto. And so they come over here to like the Philadelphia area and they're like, okay, well, is it something that's like specifically with that group that's better from the people that are from Philadelphia? And they're like, no, they like their diets aren't it, no, their lifestyles aren't it, no, it's the fact that they have community, because each person was interwoven and intertwined within a community, and they had a purpose, they had that contribution to something bigger than themselves that gave them purpose. And having that belonging was the thing that was elongating and that centerpiece, of course, to their longevity. And the same thing goes for humans on a daily basis. We as humans want to feel like we belong, because when we know we have a purpose, when we know we serve other people because of ourselves and we can help others, that is when we thrive. That is when we have an actual calling and a vocation. Like, I know the root word of vocation is vocare. It's like Latin for to be called to or to call. And it's just something that's different. And it's hard to find that belonging and that sense of vocation in your vocare. But you will eventually. You genuinely and truly will. You will find your belonging wherever you go, the house that you live in, the homes that you experience, the friends that you make, the friendships that you experience. Sometimes we are in the nomadic phase in our life. Sometimes we don't always know where we're going to go next, and we don't feel like we belong. But sometimes all we need to feel that we belong is within ourselves, and then at least that we have ourselves to figure out where we're going to go next. Food for thought.